Welcome back to Divinity Origins Sin 2, and I've gone on a shopping spree again in between episodes, and I noticed something. I went ahead and bought a helmet for Lohse, which I then put on, and as it turns out, it was weaker than my old helmet, this one. And this got me thinking, because I didn't know why it was actually weaker. I thought it was stronger, that's why I bought it. But no. And yeah, that got me thinking, so I started doing a little science. And yeah, I was wrong actually. I was completely wrong, in fact. And my build, as good as it may seem, it was far from perfect. So, I did a little math, and yeah, let's see. I was wrong about one very important thing. If you go with the damage, let's go on Beast, that's a little better. You can see all the different modifier for your damage. You have your base damage from your weapon. In this case, it is a purely physical damage weapon. So my base damage is completely physical. Now, you have these 2 plus X% damage modifier from two-handed and from strength. It's the same with finesse and ranged. You had ranged. Now, how this works is rather simple. It takes your base damage and it multiplies it with these 2 percentages. So your base damage times 5.15 in this case. Because I have 150% from two-handed and 400% from strength. So I deal roughly 5 times my base damage. Now, I thought Warfare was just added to that. So it was like 6 times my base damage. But no, that's wrong. Warfare is actually applied multiplicative. That means I deal 6 times my base damage and then it gets multiplied by 0.2 in this case, or I have damage increased by 100%, so it gets doubled. Which means I effectively deal 12 times my damage. Instead of 6 times my damage. Well no, in this case it is 10 times my damage. Anyway, the point is that of course makes Warfare much, much stronger than I thought. And so I went ahead and did a little math. Now, in my calculations, I first of all only considered physical damage, because we have 2 physical damage dealers in my party, and well, physical is just the best damage dealer in the game, so why would you go for a magic if you can deal physical damage? Let's stick with beast for a time, because Lohse is a little more complicated. I also considered only critical damage, since I usually play with enrage and I'm pretty much have enrage up the whole time in the fight. I only consider critical damage. That of course takes into account critical multiplier, and critical multiplier is calculated by 2 things. You have 1.5 150% base critical multiplier, and then it is increased by two-handed, which gives 5% per point, and Scoundrel, which gives 5% per point. I went ahead and did the math, and as it turns out, of course, base damage is the best, is with hands down the best. Let's take for example this weapon. Now, say I go to the shop and I find another weapon which has, no, let's take it another way. Say this weapon had two-handed on it, which is pretty good, right? And I go to the shop and I find a weapon with more base damage, but it doesn't have two-handed. Now, is it better? Is it worse? In my case, for my stat setup right here, a point of two-handed gives me roughly 130 damage. Critical. Everything I tell you is critical. 1 point of base damage from the weapon gives me around 34 damage. So if this weapon has no plus two-handed on it, but it deals 4 base damage more. 4 is not a lot. Then it's better. So for all intents and purposes, if you level up and you grab a better weapon, this usually increases your base damage by at least like 10 or something. At least at a later stage in the game. So yeah, it is generally the right choice to go ahead and simply buy new weapons when you level up. And of course that means that you should always strive for the highest quality, which is legendary most of the time, but when you hit level 16, divine items become available in the shop, so you should always go for divine items. And of course always with the rune slot, since it increases the base damage. And base damage is worth a shit ton of damage. Okay, so I will not go into the detail of the math. Just like a guide, just want to give like a guideline. So two-handed is pretty much the best stat for a two-handed warrior, because it not only increases your damage, it also increases your critical multiplier. So yeah, that is pretty much the best you can have. It is, however, closely followed by warfare, which is really damn good. So what you want to go for on your gear is warfare and two-handed. It is followed by scoundrel, which only gives a critical multiplier, but it also gives movement, which I did not consider in my calculations because yeah, it is kind of complicated to consider. But I would say it is a boon, which makes scoundrel even better. And yeah, lastly we've got strength. Strength is not worth much. A point in strength is, well, 1 point in Scoundrel, for example, which is the worst of the other stats, is worth more than 2 points in strength. A point in Warfare is worth as much as 3 points in strength. So, yeah, strength is not actually that good. And yeah, this is why I went ahead and changed my combat abilities. I took all of my points out of Scoundrel and put them into Warfare, since Warfare is just so damn good. Now that baseline increased my damage by quite a lot, if you can, as you can see. I'm now dealing like 2,300 damage with my critical multiplier of 2.85. I'm dealing over 5,000 damage with the normal auto attack, which is pretty good, but it gets better, I say. Now, Lohse is a little bit more complicated because there also elemental damage plays a role. And yeah, that's a little more complicated because this also introduce Aerotherg or Geomancer and whatnot into the equations. And of course, Warfare only increases physical damage, so it does not increase the elemental portion of that damage. Right? Wrong. Because if you use slowdown arrows, and as you can see the damage is already insanely high, if you use slowdown arrows, all of your damage, even the elemental one, is converted into physical damage. And to that physical damage, Warfare is also applied again. So, yeah. For all intents and purposes, you can ignore the elemental damage in the calculation and simply go for physical. Now, our ranger does not have two-handed, which is a little bit sad, because we only get ranged, and ranged is not that good. In fact, ranged is pretty much as worthless as finesse. 1 point in range is pretty much the same as a point in finesse, if you forget about the 1% critical chance. Which I did, because, as I said, I always have enrage up, I don't care about critical chance. But, of course, 1% critical chance is needed. It is, well, it's a little bit more complicated than just to say it's 1% more damage. Depends on the critical multiplier and so on and so forth. It's all a little bit more complicated than just that. But, yeah, the point is ranged and finesse both are, not so great. Warfare, on the other hand, is hands down the best stat for a ranger you can have. It was already good for for a two-handed warrior. It was only topped by two-handed, which we unfortunately do not have. But that leaves warfare as the best stat you can have. And so I went ahead, took all of my points out of ranged and took them into warfare. Because, yeah, who needs ranged when you can have warfare? And yeah, warfare is followed by scoundrel as the second best stat. And yeah, after that comes ranged and finesse. So what you want to go for as a hunter is warfare with a big lead warfare, followed by scoundrel. And yeah, then finesse, range, whatever. Doesn't really matter that much. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Now, Lohse deals a little bit more damage than Beast now. Let's see, we have a 2.55 crit multiplier, and we deal 3,736. Let's just 36 times what's our critical multiplier? 2.55. Yeah, this slowdown arrow crit deals 9,500 damage minimum. So this slowdown arrow should pretty much one-shot every enemy in the game. Just like that. So, I am looking forward to try that out on someone. But enough of the theory crafting for now. Let's continue with our story. We concluded most of our business around here. We found Anathema, and we will talk to Tarquin now about that.
Second time's a charm? Or have I asked too much of you?
Produce the blade you found in the archives.
The blade quivers as Tarquin nears it, and hums a response. An unfallen reveil. Amadio Lucio de Anme Drita Dumores.
Ah, yeah, of course.
Oh, very good. Very, very good. This,
Okay.
my friend, is the key. Give me some time, and every deity in existence will tremble at the sight of you.
Please let this be a two-handed sword. I really have absolutely no use for a one-handed sword. Even if it can kill gods, you know? Because I can pretty much already one-shot them with slowdown arrows.
He holds out his hand, expectantly.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Hand over the parts. You'd like to see what this anathema can do.
Lovely. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must work.
Tarquin turns away, but continues to mutter excitedly, almost religiously, about anathema.
Sure. You have fun with that. Okay. Then, next up is Jahan. We found out the name of the demon that he's hunting, and that is possessing us. So let's see if he can exercise it. Would be nice. Although, could I still become a divine? The divine if I had no patron anymore? Because that thing is kind of my god or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk to Jen.
It is a dark thing to contemplate a demon's name. Perhaps you can shed light on the matter.
Well, the demon is in Dr. Deva himself, and that his real name is Adramalik.
Jahan looks at you utterly flabbergasted, but soon an air of serenity descends upon him, that of a chess player overlooking the board.
Adramalik. You have to admire his cunning. To think that in his guise of Deva, he and I shared the finest wines in the realm. Stories of the women we have loved.
Yeah, you're not the best demon hunter, are you?
Thank you, Lohse. You have done me an unparalleled service, and you've quite humbled me at the same time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now get that thing out of me, please.
The time has come for us to invoke the demon. Lure him out of his cave with his name. Adramalik. Adramalik.
We're going to fight him here?
Adramalik.
A wave of rage washes over you as Jahan speaks the creature's name. The demon heard him. He heard him, and he's furious.
Jahan? Really? It is pronounced Jahan? Wait a second. Was it pronounced Jahan in the first game too? Don't think so. I like Jane better, so whatever.
There is great power in names. Just like Source is the language of creation, a demon's true name is the core of its existence. It's be-all or end-all. His end-all will be your be-all. For you are Lohse, not Adramalik. You are Lohse. Are you ready?
Let's drop a save. Alright, breathe deeply. This is the moment. The moment everything changes. Then you're ready.
Then close your eyes and do as I do.
Something has to go wrong, right? This can't be the end. No.
Your hands still in his, Jahan begins to inhale slowly, deeply, then exhales audibly through his mouth. As you breathe in rhythmic synchronization, he begins to hum a low, rumbling note.
Sure. Join your voice with his and follow it to a crescendo.
You hum in unison. Your voices blend, become one with the breath of the forest. Then, suddenly something coils within your chest, and a shout lacerates this brief moment of serenity.
Quiet!
Okay.
Adramalik!
Your right arm suddenly falls from your body, or it feels like it does. You have no control over it, nor does it hang at your side. You know what you must do. Choke this man who stands before you. Squeeze the life from him.
Fight the urge with all your might.
Your muscles burn inside you, but you manage to slow yourself just enough so that Jahan has the time to duck away.
Adramalik! Thousand-named nemesis, Lord of Soot, come shake black hands with me. Leave her! Leave her! Come play with me!
Yeah, if that thing possessed him, we might be in quite a bit of trouble, considering he's level 20 and has 16,000 hit points. Well, I mean, I could kill him with 2 arrows, but could probably one-shot me too, so...
Your stomach churns. Your mind goes numb. This is the end. This is the...
Oh, it seems like we're the demon now. Oh. Let's go with this. Hello, Jane. How nice of you to invite me to the party.
Listen to me, demon. I know why you chose her. I know what it is you fear the most, and therefore desire the most. But I'll not let her serve you any longer. You will crawl back to the pit that spawned you.
Oh, but I'm having so much fun. Lohse is nothing if not hospitable.
Mashtuna pathan shdanelu, Kaumel Saravel, Damarel Saravel.
It worries me a bit that I had to choose these dialogue options. That would imply that we are actually the demon, or that the demon is actually part of the player. How should I phrase that? I mean, in other times when we had an outburst, we could not choose the dialogue. The dialogue would play automatically. So this is worrisome.
He places a palm on your forehead. It burns.
Let's stay nice. Oh, the burning palm thing. Didn't see that one coming.
He presses his palm harder against your head. You're immobilized. You're in pain.
Do what you will, fool. She's beyond saving.
Kaumel Saravel, Damarel Saravel, Mashtu, Shdanelu.
You're shrinking back to the safe and the dark, back behind where Lohse lives. For now.
It's no use. It's too late.
Safe in the dark. Let's go with safe.
Lohse? Lohse? Is it you?
You hear nothing but the slow, hard beating of your heart.
Follow the sound.
Thud. The sound grows louder. Thud. Stronger. Thud. There you are. There you are.
Lohse.
You feel something. A soft haze of light in the frigid dark.
Follow the light.
Keep going, Lohse.
The light draws you forward. If you can reach it, something will happen. You know something will happen if you can only reach it. Thud, thud, thud. Your heart beats faster. The light grows bright. You're nearly there.
Wonder what happens if you do not cooperate and stay in the dark or whatever. But yeah, let's not do that. Reach out, touch the light, feel the vibrations of your heart around you.
Lohse, he's behind you.
Something grabs onto your foot. Its grasp burns like white-hot fire.
What the fuck is that? Kick it off, reach through the light, grab hold of what is beyond.
Bright light blinds you. There you are.
There you are.
He looks tired. His brow is wet with sweat.
You almost didn't make it.
Not, you almost didn't. But you did, in the end.
I failed you. He's not coiled around your heart. He has become your heart. Try as I might, he would not shift. I am truly sorry, Lohse. But do not despair. I will not give up on you. We must simply take a darker path still. Confront Adramalik in his lair and deal with the demon face to face. You almost have to admire his cunning. To think that in his guise of Deva, he and I shared the finest wines in the realm. Stories of life and love. But now I know where he hides, afraid of his own name. To the city of Arx you must go. I will travel with you, if I may.
Not with the last of your strength. Tell him where the Lady Vengeance is docked.
I will meet you there and prepare for the coming battle.
Awesome. Nice. So he joins us, at least at the Lady Vengeance. He did not do that when I didn't have Lohse in my party.
You'll yet be all, Lohse.
Okay, that exorcism didn't go just as planned, but well, it would have surprised me if it did, because yeah, we will face that demon in Arx, and yeah, I didn't really expect him to show up here. Oh, we can loot the demons. Okay. We still have some more exploring to do. Let's go to Blood Moon Island again. There's still that area over here which we have to explore. There's a house, a destroyed house over here. And not much else. And I still want to get into the vaults. I didn't look it up and I still have no clue how we are supposed to do it. I tried hiring mercs, but they don't have tags actually. And
Corpses. Does every corner of this place hide grim secrets?
apparently. Do I loot them actually? Yes. Oh, those are the corpses you referred to. What do we have here? A barrel. Why the hell is there a barrel? Oh, interesting. Ah, yes. Spirit vision up. Don't want to miss any ghosts. There are enemies around here. Marvel the Accursed. Oh, Marvel. Time to put you down. Oh. Damn it, I missed. Ah, whatever. Alright. Let's try out our insane slowdown arrows. This should be fun. This should be a lot of fun. Of course, problem is warfare does not increase marksman fang's damage like I would like it to do. The reason why slowdown arrows are so insane, and knockdown arrows too actually, is because warfare applies twice to that. It is completely nuts. I don't think that was intended by the game, but it well. So my base damage is already calculated using warfare, right? So this is what damage I deal with elements and everything combined. So this is what Marksman Fang deals as damage. However, that is doubled, no, even doubled, more than that, by warfare again, because that is transformed into physical damage, and then there is warfare applied to that again, which results in 4,000 non-crit slowdown arrow damage. Non-crit. Have to consider that too. Anyway, we can one-shot this guy with the Marksman Fang. And this guy apparently. And yeah, let's see how much damage this does. 5,000. What? How does that only deal 5,000 damage? Maybe the tooltip is buggy actually. I don't know. Anyway, we can't hit anyone else around here, so let's go over here and one-shot this guy.
Your maker.
Yeah, I think that is buggy. The tooltip is actually buggy. But it still deals more damage than my normal attack, so that's fine. There's one more over there, but Beast can take care of that. No need to enrage.
Into the dark with you.
There we go. Yeah, if you thought it was easy before, well, it is a lot easier now. Let's see, we've got some ghosts around here and a ruined house. Let's talk to that ghost.
The spirit of a black-ringed defiler swings her ghostly blade at invisible foes. She turns and shouts to unseen comrades. Her voice is a guttural snarl, ruined by the effects of death fog.
Go, find the druid. We need to find out what he knows. I'll hold these things off.
She turns back and cleaves her sword through the air. It makes contact with something. The echo of a bestial roar catches your ear.
Very interesting. Let's get some sauce, by the way. I'm still wondering why that slowdown arrow dealt so little damage. Maybe it'll only show how much damage it effectively dealt. Meaning that how much damage it dealt until he died. So he had like 4,300 hit points and armor. I'm not sure. Guess we'll have to find a bigger and better enemy to test that theory. Let's have a look. Oh, there's another ghost. Elven Pilgrim. What are you doing here?
The howling. How can you bear it?
The spirit cocks his head and covers his ears, hoping to muffle screams that only he can hear.
Give the spirit an incredulous look. You don't hear any howling.
The ancestor tree. The screams came to me on the wind, though I am not sure the devil's breath that perturbs the air here can rightly be called wind. But they've been silenced.
Who or what is he exactly?
A druid. There are too few of us. Elf-kind finds value in flesh where memory lingers. I collect memories, yes, but I am more keen on bark and leaf. On the living breeze, not the sleeping past.
Interesting. He's the first druid we encounter. Look for more information. He must know something useful.
Well, yes. I have kept my ears to the ground, ghostly they may be. This is an archive, a library devoted to history and scholarship. There must be a record there of the elf that spawned the corrupted tree.
Yeah, we already found that.
I can't say where its entrance lays. The whispers that speak of the archive are all but drowned by my ancestors' grief.
Well, thanks for the information. Let's see what's going on in here. No more ghosts. Backpack. Empty backpack. A broken loot. And that guy in the chimney? Oh, I can't loot him in any case. Lohse shares lucky charm. Okay, well, I guess that's all. Skeletal cat. What are you doing here?
Once she screamed and screamed, and I thought she'd never stop, but now it's done. Her roots don't quake and my bones don't clatter. Silence, and silence is golden, and silence.
Ask if it means their ancestor tree. Could hear her screaming?
The tree. The tree. The tree. The tree's the girl, and the girl's the tree. The demon's the doctor, and the doctor's the demon. But the hush has arrived. The hush. The hush.
The harsh. Interesting. Gives us a lot of information that we already know. The doctor is the demon and the girl is the tree. Here's where we would have landed with a boat. I believe if you tell him that you'll pay it later, after you arrived, then he'll not kill you. I'm not sure. I believe I survived my voyage in my first playthrough. But I was failed, so he couldn't kill me with death fog anyway. So. Anyway, I believe we are done around here. I still want to find a way into that
You might expect the stone figure was well...
freaking vault, but... oh, by the way, there is... Oh, right. When I went shopping, something happened. You might remember the merchant in the tavern that was on the upstairs floor. Yeah, I accidentally misclicked and stole something, and he got really angry, and yeah, I killed him. And he had this letter on him. C. You know what to do. Infiltrate the tavern at Driftwood. Find a mark whose identity can serve you. Then, trap and kill Godwoken. Top price from our client for each one. Bring their heads to me at the sawmill to cash in. Roost. So yeah, that merchant was a lone wolf. So I'm not really sorry about killing him. And yeah, I'll look this up and see if we can actually do this quest without being a scholar. Maybe we can't. I'm not sure. Anyway, that'll be it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.